Hello friends, this is me, your host. Welcome back to our channel. I hope you all are well and doing great. So today I'm back with another video to give a review on a book which is A Path to Peace and Prosperity. This book is by Dr. Muhammad Naveed Akbar. We will going to see how we can build a beautiful world in this book. As we have completed our 4 chapters, already given reviews on these chapters in the last videos. If you guys haven't watched it yet, visit our channel and watch it there. So let's continue with the next chapter, which is chapter 5, is the road to a sustainable future, environmental responsibility and stewardship. The future of humankind is indelibly tied to the well-being of our planet. Each breath we breathe, each bite we consume, and each resource we use is a gift from the earth. And yet, in the pursuit of progress, we have extracted more than we have contributed. Frequently, ignoring the cost of our actions. The trees contract, the seas choke on plastic, the skies fill with pollution, and the climate changes in ways that jeopardize life itself. We are at a crossroads in human history. Either we take responsibility to be a good caretakers of the world, or we follow a path of destruction that the next generation will have to pay for. Sustainability is not an option. It is a need. Our quest for economic development must not be at the expense of ecological meltdown. We need to reframe how we live, how we produce, and how we engage with nature. Governments, corporations, and citizens all have a role to play in building a system whereby both humanity and the planet can coexist in harmony. A sustainable tomorrow is one in which the requirements of the present are fulfilled without sacrificing the requirements of the future. It is a world in which progress is not just quantified in monetary terms, but also in the health of ecosystems, biodiversity, and the well-being of all species. This chapter delves into the imperative for sustainable living, effects of unbridled exploitation, and the solutions that can guide us toward a more responsible and harmonious way of life. From renewable power and waste management to mindful consumerism and ecological learning, there are infinite venues we can embark upon to transform to a future that honors the precarious harmony of nature. The potential to revolution the potential to revolutionize the world in the hands of individuals who have the courage to dream a different world, one based on prudence, deference, and accountability. Getting to know sustainability. What is it? Sustainability is frequently mistaken as a fad or an alternative for the green crowd. But it's much more. It's much more than that. In essence, sustainability is about equilibrium, making sure that things we use get replenished, that the harm we inflict gets healed, and that what we do today will not cause suffering to others tomorrow. Three pillars of sustainability: environmental, economic, and social, are interdependent. Environmental sustainability is about conserving environmental sustainability is about conserving natural resources, minimizing pollution, and safeguarding ecosystems. Economic sustainability is about creating industries and technologies that do not exhaust or exploit the truth. Social sustainability is about ensuring that human societies are founded on equity, justice, and equal access to basic resources such as clean water, food, and education. If one of these pillars is ignored, the whole system collapses. Phobias knew about sustainability. Instinctively, harmoniously living in sync with nature. But accelerated industrialization and mass consumerism have disconnected us, resulting in overconsumption and ecological destruction. To bring back balance, we need to integrate sustainability approaches into today's society, not as a sacrifice but as a blueprint for progress. The impact of human activity on the environment. For centuries, humans have utilized the earth as a limitless resource, thinking that forests could be harvested forever. filled with pollutants with no repercussions, and species pushed to extinctions with no impact on the overall symptoms. This facade has started to crumble as the effects of human actions cannot be overlooked any longer. Climbing global temperatures, erratic weathers patterns, thawing glaciers, and declining biodiversity are warning signs of a world in trouble. Deforestation due to agriculture, lodging, and urbanization destroys the natural forest, destroys the natural function of the earth to control the climate. Forests are carbon sinks that help absorb excess atmospheric carbon dioxide. Without forests, greenhouse gases increase, fueling global warming. A football field's worth of forest is lost every minute, threatening to send thousands of species into extinction and upsetting entire ecological systems. Pollution is yet another danger that jeopardizes life on this planet. Air we breathe comes with toxic chemical emissions from factories, which lead to lung related diseases and soil pollution. What was once virgin ocean is today littered with plastic trash that kills aquatic species and pollutes the food web. Water bodies are contaminated. Water bodies are contaminated by pesticides, heavy metals, and raw sewage that affect millions who depend on lakes and rivers to survive. The harm resulting from human activities is not some nebulous future menace. It is occurring in the present. But just as we have been responsible for triggering these crises, we also have the capacity to reserve them. The transition to sustainability must be our shared effort in altering how we create, use, and discard resources. The urgency of combating climate change. Climate change is no longer a future warning. It's a current reality. The world is warming at a record level with global temperatures increasing as a result of excessive fossil fuel burning. This warming unsettles weather patterns, resulting in catastrophic hurricanes, wildfires, floods, and droughts. Coastal metropolises are threatened by sea level sea level rise, while farm areas struggle with erratic growing seasons. The impacts of climate change fall hardest on the most vulnerable populations, small island states, poor countries, and minority groups bear the greatest burden while contributing the least to greenhouse gas emissions. The rich world's moral obligation to act boldly is absolute. Only political and corporate interests tend to stand in the way. Ending climate change demands an ambitious shift of fossil fuels. Solar, wind, and water power must drive out coal and oil. Countries need to crack down on stronger environmental laws, and companies must be made accountable for their carbon emission. for their carbon emission, but individuals can't just sit around either living with less, eating sustainability, and agitating for politics that put people and planet above profit. Time is short, but the solutions are at hand. The issue is not whether we can stop climate disaster, but whether we have the global will to move before it is too late. The role of renewable energy powering a sustainable future. One of the most important shifts that human civilization needs to undertake is shifting from fossil fuel to renewable energy. Coal, oil, and natural gas have driven industrial advancement. For more than a century, but have done so at a heavy environmental cost. Fossil fuels emit carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases which enhance global warming, as well as contaminate the air, land, and water. The remedy involves tapping into clean, renewable sources of power that don't consume the planet's resources. Solar power provided by sun is amongst the most limitless and renewable forms of power accessible. Solar powers have become increasingly efficient and low cost due to technological innovations, enabling homes, businesses, and even cities to produce electricity free from toxic fuels. Wind energy, another soon to be skyrocketing industry, capitalizes on natural wind power to produce electricity. Wind farms located on land or at sea are increasingly become the backbone of electricity grids globally. Geothermal energy and hydropower are other alternatives utilizing the Earth's heat core and water to produce electricity. All these resources, together with the technologies together with the technologies for energy storage can displace fossil fuels together. The difficulty is not with technology but with the governments and industries accepting sustainability options. A renewable energy power world not is not only conceivable, it is indispensable. Each passing year of procrastination increase green energy investments benefits not just the planet, not just the planets, but also puts millions of people into work, powers economic developments, and assures long-term energy independence. The world's futures must be green and action can no longer be delayed. Conserving biodiversity ecosystems are vital. Biodiversity is the basis of life on our planet. It maintains the stability of ecosystem, sustains agriculture, controls climate, and supplies essential resources like medicine, clean water, and food. Each species, regardless of size, has an important role to play in maintaining ecological balance. However, human activity has pushed thousands of species to extinction and many more on the verge of vanishing forever. Deforestation, habitat loss, pollution, when forests are cleared for agriculture and urban expansions, millions of species have their natural habitats destroyed. Oceans that were once full of life the disappearance of pollinators like bees and butterflies jeopardizes food security because they are vital to the reproduction of plants. Preserving biodiversity calls for immediate action. Conservation in the form of setting up protecting zones, imposing anti-poaching regulations, and restoring degraded ecosystems can restore some of the lost ground. Organic farming, sustainable fishing, and curbing chemical pollution are also crucial steps in maintaining the fragile equilibrium of nature. Education and awareness are the best tools in the battle. Once individuals comprehend the interdependence of life, they take greater interest in preserving it. Governments, corporations, and individuals alike need to collaborate to make conservation more important than temporary economic revenues. Without biodiversity, the world will be on the verge of destruction. We have to move before it is too late. Sustainable agriculture, feeding the world without harming the planet. Agriculture is vital for human existence, but industrial methods of farming have been very dangerous, damaging to the environment. Deforestation, overconsumption of water, soil erosion, and high consumption of pesticides and fertilizers have resulted in loss of diversity, water source pollution, and soil fertility depletion. If we are to provide food for a burgeoning world population, without running the world, then we need more sustainable ways of farming. Regenerative agriculture provides the answer. By putting soil health, crop rotation, and natural pest management first, farmers can grow food while rebuilding ecosystems. Organic farming minimizes reliance on toxic chemicals, safeguarding the environment and human health. Agroforestry, which incorporates trees into agricultural systems, increases biodiversity and avoids soil erosion. Another key element of sustainable agriculture is reducing food waste. Close to one third of all food that is produced worldwide is wasted, which leads to excess deforestation, water loss, and greenhouse gas emissions. Better storage, distribution, and consumption patterns. Consumption patterns can significantly cut down on food waste and it is related environmental consequences. Consumers also hold influence in determining agricultural practices by opting for locally produced, organic, and sustainably sourced produce. Consumers can promote sustainable farming practices and minimize their carbon footprint. Governments need to encourage sustainability practices by rewarding farmers for maintaining environmental health over short term production. Reducing waste. Importance of a circular economy. The current economy is based on a linear model of consumption and production. Extract, make use, and throw away. This unsustainable process results in jam packed landfills, contaminated oceans, and the degradation of natural resources. A circular economy where materials are recycled, reused, and remade presents a more sustainable model of production and consumption. Plastic pollution is perhaps the most urgent of all waste related issues. Millions of tons of plastics are released into the ocean each year, polluting marine ecosystem and food chains. Single-use plastics like straws, bags, and bottles are amongst the biggest contributors to the problem. Shifting towards biodegradable alternatives, plastic bans, and promoting recycling schemes are important steps towards solving the issue. Another rising concern is electronic waste or e-waste. With technology evolving rapidly, outdated products are disposed of in copious amounts, releasing harmful substances into the environment. Businesses need to embrace sustainable design practices, designing items that can be easily repaired and recycled. Consumers can also contribute by maximizing the life expectancy of their electronics through proper upkeep and recycling. Waste reduction is more than recycling. It involves thinking about consumption, selecting durable goods, mending rather than replacing, and adopting minimalism all help to create a less wasteful world. The objective should not be waste management but waste prevention. The role of education in promoting sustainability. Education is imperative for sustainability. Once individuals grasp the effects of their decisions, they will have a greater propensity to adopt ecologically sound actions. Environmental education needs to be incorporated into educational curriculum where climate change, conservation, and sustainability are taught. Outside the classroom, companies, governments, and the media have an obligation to ensure sustainable behavior. Advertising needs to move away from encouraging overconsumption and toward encouraging responsible shopping behavior. Governments need to start awareness campaigns to enable citizens to, ma- to make educated choices regarding waste management, energy consumption, and eating habits. Environmental education must also be made available to everyone. Communities, especially the ones most vulnerable to climate change, should be equipped with knowledge and resources adapt, and counteract environmental degradation. A sustainability oriented society will, by itself, prioritize measures and policies that safeguard the planet for coming generations. Government's policy and corporate responsibility in sustainability. While individual behavior matters, systemic change depends on robust government policies and corporate accountability. Governments need to enact legislation and regulations that safeguard the environment, encouraging green technologies, renewable energy, and sustainable practices. Carbon taxes, emission caps, and prohibitions on toxic chemicals can bring about significant change. Companies play an equally important role. Numerous industries are responsible for pollution, forest destruction, and greenhouse gas emissions. Keeping companies accountable for their ecological footprint is necessary. Supply chain transparency, responsible sourcing, and company sustainability efforts can reduce damage. Sustainable companies not only save the world but also earn consumer loyalty and long term profitability. Popular pressure can push business and government into action. Citizens can push for more stringent environmental legislation, invest in businesses that are environmentally friendly, and join movements calling for change. When citizens come together as a group, industries and governments are compelled to take notice. Individual responsibility. How you can make a difference. While big changes are needed, small actions count as well. Each individual can contribute to making a difference in their daily lives. Saving energy, reducing waste, buying from sustainable companies, and eating planet based diets can greatly lower one's carbon footprint. Activism and advocacy. Activism and advocacy minimizes the power of individuals. Environmental awareness, environmental group support, and community involvement maximize the collective force in pushing for sustainability. Individuals need to perceive themselves as active players rather than passive onlookers in the struggle for a greener planet. Mindfulness is the answer, knowing that every purchase, every meal, and every habit contributes to the health of the environment makes people think more carefully. Sustainable living doesn't have to mean reduced quality of life. It means rethinking what's most important and choosing what benefits the health of the planet. Sustainability is not a fad, it is a way of thinking, a promise, and a lifestyle. The decisions of today will create the world of tomorrow. There is a sustainable future, but it will take the commitment and collaboration of every person, community, and country. Summary of Chapter 5: The Path to a Sustainable Future. This chapter points towards the urgency to practice sustainability in all walks of life. This chapter starts off by exploring the actual definition of sustainability and bringing forward the centrality of harmonization among nature, the economy, and well-being. The journey towards a sustainable future is not simple, but it has to be done. If mankind is to survive and prosper, we need to ditch the philosophy of short term exploitation and instead practice the virtues of stewardship, responsibility, and respect from earth. Our survival hinges on this. So, this is all we have from this chapter, from this book. I hope you guys liked it. If you did, don't forget to press the like button. I'll be back with another videos with another books to give a review on. Till then, just take care and goodbye.